Hello everyone and welcome to another video. In this video I'm going to be talking about books I'm excited for and looking forward to in 2026. This may be the first time you see my face on YouTube. I'm Sky or Skylark, whichever you prefer. I so far have just posted one video, though I have filmed several others that I just am too afraid to post. So please share not share this, don't share this, please don't share this. But give it a like so I know that people actually like this. Otherwise, I will stop posting because it's just for fun. Anyways, let's get into the books. I'm also very bad with technology. All my friends know it, so I'm just going to be holding up my iPad of the book covers, and it's going to take me a while to find them. But let's try to get into this. So, first book I'm excited about for January of 2026 is by Emily Austen, and it's Is This a Cry for Help? This is the cover. I hope it focuses. But that's the cover. I'm excited for it. It's maybe a little too close to home. It's about a librarian who has like a mental health crisis and goes and gets help and then returns to work, and there's book banning. There's someone who struggled with mental health and works at a library. Relatable. But yeah, I'm excited to read that. It's by Emily Austen. What else did she write? She wrote In This Room, wait, Everyone in This Room Will Someday Be Dead. I did not read that, but I'm excited about this one, and if I like it, I will go back and read the rest of her books. So the next one I'm excited about, and I have that one on hold at my library, so no one else has it on hold, so I should get it right away. Then we have by Ashley Elston. This also comes out January 13th, and that is Anatomy of an Alibi. This one just sounds very intriguing. I'm not hugely into psychological thrillers lately, but every once in a while they're fun, and this one just sounds fun. I don't really remember the whole premise behind it, I'm gonna be honest, but it sounded fun. It's like, I think this girl teams up with another girl and they switch like lives for 24 hours or something, and then one of their husbands ends up dead, and they both are, one of them has a solid alibi but the other one doesn't, and it's like who's telling the truth and who's lying type of situation. Sounds fun. Author of First Lie Wins, I'm being told, and again, that comes out January 13th, both of those. And I'm on hold for this one at my library as well, but I'm second on the hold list, so I might not get it in January, which is fine because I have other books to read. So next we have March, because I don't have any for February, which is disappointing because I would love like a good Valentine's Day sapphic romance, specifically YA if I could, but if not, whatever. So then next we have by Bill Wood, Be Right Back, and this will come out March 3rd if you were in the US. Otherwise, it's already out, I'm pretty sure, in like the UK. But this is the cover. It's like the sequel to Let's Split Up. I thought it was a fun like Scooby-Doo meets Pretty Little Liars book. I'm assuming this will be the same thing. It's just, it's a good time for what it's supposed to be, you know? So I'm excited about it. I actually do have a NetGalley arc of this, so I'm gonna try to get to it by March. The other book I have in March is called Homeward for a Spell, which you might be, this is what Goodreads has as the cover. There's no cover art yet. But this is the sequel to, oh god, what is it the sequel to? Which I haven't read. Homegrown Magic is the first book. This is the cover of that one. I have not read yet. Very excited to get to it, but if I like it, I want the sequel. So I'm excited, looking forward to that. I like Jamie Pacton's writing. She's writing this with Rebecca Podos. I think it'll be good cozy fantasy. This is adult sapphic romantasy, I think. Cozy romantasy. Then we move on to April, and boy do I have a lot of books that come out in April. And all of these are, you know, could change because I've checked many of these many times and they've changed several times already. So let's get into the April ones. So first we have, this one's probably really far down. Okay, April 7th, we have quite a few on April 7th, I'm not gonna lie. We have Morgana and Oz by Mayoli, volume 4. I've read 1 through 3 already. I love them, they're so cute and so fun. Just a great graphic novel. The art style's really cute, the story's riveting. Really excited for this. We'll be trying to get an arc of it because I've gotten the arc on all of them and then I buy all the books, so it's not like they're losing money on me. I am buying the book of it too. I just want the arc because I want to read it early. Next we have, okay, by Evelyn Clark on the same day, April 7th. And Evelyn Clark is a pseudonym I believe is how you would say it, of V.E. Schwab and something Clark. Cat Clark. And it's called The Ending Writes Itself. I've never read either of these authors. I know who V.E. Schwab is. I've heard of Cat Clark. I've always wanted to try V.E. Schwab. I figured I'll give this one a go because a lot of people seem intrigued by it because she doesn't normally write this style of book, but it's like a murder mystery, closed door mystery on an island of an author who has like an unfinished book, and all these other authors are brought in to try to finish it. Someone ends up murdered, and I don't know who's trying to solve it, but somebody's trying to solve the crime. So we just kind of get a ghost of characters and figure out which of these authors is the murderer, I think. That's what I make out of it. Sounds fun. I feel like there's going to be a big twist, which is interesting. I'm very excited for that. And that comes out April 7th, like I said. Then we have... I'm sorry, I know I should be better at this, but this is the best I can do for you all, because I don't know how to upload multiple clips onto here, because it's not like TikTok, which TikTok is my main format that I'm used to using. Still not good at it, but okay, come on. Ah, here we go. By Jessica George, also comes out April 7th. Love by the Book. I believe this one is about a platonic relationship, about like a friendship, and that right there, like, I love that because me and my best friend are like pretty much married, but platonically, and I love that. And I love this book because it's going to be about friendship, and I think that's super sweet, and I think it'll be hit close to home. That's all I know about it. Then we have also on April 7th, we have American Fantasy by Emma Straub, not sure. This one is basically, I grew up in the era where One Direction was huge, so I don't know if this person was writing this as if it was One Direction, or if they were like slightly older than me, where they would be like Backstreet Boys. I know who the Backstreet Boys are. I did listen to the Backstreet Boys. I'm just a little bit too young for them to be who I would have envisioned. Also, I got bullied for not liking One Direction, even though I liked One Direction, so like, I have slight beef with them. I'm just kidding, they're fine. But American Fantasy is basically, you have this whole fantasy of this boy band group when you're a kid, and then what happens when you're like in your 30s and you go on a cruise and one of the members is on the cruise and starts like flirting with you, I believe is the premise. I'm not describing these books well, and I apologize. Read the synopsis because they're good. They sound interesting at least, but that's the premise of this one. And then that's on April 7th as well. And then I think that's last April 7th. Then we have an April 9th, which is confusing because most books always come out on Tuesday. So I'm like, is it actually April 9th? We'll find out. And that will be by Lizzie Huxley Jones, called Reality Check. It does say April 9th. Okay. Reality Check. This looks sapphic. Her other book was sapphic. It was A Christmas Romance, the first one I read this year. Or I listened to it on audio, but this one looks good. What happens behind the scenes will always filter through. I'm just gonna read the synopsis. They were meant to be looking for their perfect man, but they can't ignore the sparks flying on and off screen. Wedded Bliss is everyone's favorite reality TV show when couples match, marry, and compete for a grand prize. Dolly is in it for the money. She doesn't want a husband, but a partnership launched on international TV could definitely help her influence her career. Model Warren might just be her man. Carrie's in it for love. It's not like she's had much luck in the romance department, so why not trust the show's matchmakers with her heart? Could handsome veterinarian Patrick be the one? The tension building between them is as hot as the competition, and the two women can't deny their chemistry. For Carrie's, it's an awakening, but any chance of plan could ruin everything for Dolly. Will they find reality TV fame or the reality of love? So I did get slightly confused now. If this is sapphic, I do think it's sapphic because the cover is two girls. And maybe I just was misunderstanding the book, but I think they will eventually, like, they have their people on the shows that are guys, and then they'll come together, is my guess. Because it's Lizzie Huxley Jones. I'm pretty sure it's going to be sapphic, which I love. And it comes out April 9th. And then, nope, not the last one of this month, but then, most anticipated book of the year for me. And I, like, wanted to read it so long ago, I'm going to have to keep scrolling. Then we have, by Sasha Payton Smith, the sequel to The Rose Bargain, The Thorn Queen. I'm super excited for this. I said that about every book, but I really am excited about this one. This is my most anticipated release of the year so far, that I know of, and I can't wait to read it. I have the arc of it on NetGalley. I'm about to start it like tonight or tomorrow. I really am ready to dive into this. I don't want to give much away because it is a sequel. It is a duology, so this will be the ending of it. Um, yeah, it sounds good. The Rose Bargain was like Bridgerton meets, this is just what I've been told because I've never seen Bridgerton or read The Selection, but it's like Bridgerton meets The Selection. There's like a fairy queen and she makes promises to people and like return she gives them something and takes something from them. And then all these young girls and like debutante balls are like fighting for her son, the fairy prince. And there's some love intrigue along the way, and it's just a lot of fun. And I'm excited for the sequel and the ending. And then the last book in April, that comes out April 14th. I don't know if I said that. April 28th. And I'm gonna double check that this is still the same release date because it got moved. But yeah, April 28th by Maureen Johnson, this 6th book in the Truly Devious saga, The Velvet Knife. I haven't read this in a hot minute. This is a series that got me back into reading, so I'm not sure if I'm still gonna like it because that was a while ago. But I love the Truly Devious trilogy, and I read books 4 and 5 as well. Those were like more standalone-y, like The Box in the Woods and Nine Liars. Those are standalones but with the same characters. This is also a standalone with the same characters. I'm excited, but I am nervous that I'm not gonna like it as much as I originally enjoyed it just because I've grown as a reader, I think. I'm hoping Maureen Johnson's writing also grows, but it is still YA, so like, you know, I don't know how much growth there can be. But I'm excited. I do hope it's a good time for a YA crime book. And that comes out April 28th, like I said. And that's it for April. I don't have anything in May. So again, especially in the months of February and May so far, if you know of books, please let me know. So now we're moving on to June, and I have 2 for June. They both come out on the same day, of course, because why would my luck be any different? And we have, oh gosh, this is embarrassing. How slow I am at finding these titles. Okay, so we have For the Bride by Becca Grisho. She wrote I'll Get Back to You, which was my last read of 2025, which was like a Thanksgiving Blackout Wednesday romance book. But this is For the Bride by her, and Sapphic, looks cute. Bridesmaids, never a bride, but will they be a bride? We'll find out. That's really all I know, but I'm trying to go into it blind. And then we have a book I'm super excited about, which I've said about all of these, so maybe I'm a liar. And that is The Hyacinth Labyrinth by Jamie Paxton. You might be like, you already mentioned a Jamie Paxton book. Yes, this one she wrote alone. It takes place in the same world as the Vermilion Emporium and the Absinthe Underground. I loved the Absinthe Underground, just like a cute, cozy, fantasy, easy read, like high stakes, but didn't feel high stakes, if that makes sense. Loved it. I'm going to read the Vermilion Emporium. I just got the ebook of it from my library, so I'm excited to get into that after I read The Thorn Queen, because that takes precedent. And then I'll read that, and then this will come out in June. And oh, why am I mentioning those books? They take place in the same world, but they are standalone, so like you don't have to read the other books. But this one just looks really, I mean, look at that cover. It looks so cool. So I have high hopes for it. And Jamie Paxton is so nice, so just from my interaction virtually, I've never met them in person, but they're very sweet online. So then we move on to July, and I have 1 book in July, and it comes out on July 31st, so like the last day. And that is, oh, there's no cover art. In What World by Bridget Moresi. Now, Bridget also wrote, I'm going to confuse her with the other author. What's the other one? She wrote Everything She Does Is Magic, which is, I read this year, and is a sapphic YA romance. And In What World, I honestly don't know what it's about. I just knew that I liked the first one, so I wanted to read it. A sapphic contemporary romance with a speculative element in which 2 high school rivals begrudgingly reunite as adults to investigate the disappearance of their former theater teacher and end up traveling through a series of alternate realities together, forcing them to find the answer to a question they never meant to be curious about. In what world would the 2 of them ever be in love with each other? Okay, that actually sounds good and interesting. I like the speculative element. I don't always like that, but it sounds cute in this part, in this book. So I'm excited, extra excited now. Then we move on to, oh, that comes out the 31st of July. I can't remember if I say that. Then we move on to August, and I have two, and they both come out on the same day, which is August 4th, because why would my luck have anything different? So we have by Brittany Arena, the sequel, and I believe the ending of this one, To Dance with Death, and it was a Dance of Lies was the first one. I don't know what the sequel is about. I'm assuming it's just picking up where we left off. Loved the first one. If you're unfamiliar, it's about a girl who gets imprisoned, falsely imprisoned, for a crime she didn't commit, a murder, and she basically is like in chains and like can't move. And then when they take her out of prison, she's like lethargic and what is it like when you're atrophied? Her muscles have atrophied so much that she can't quite move, and she used to be a dancer. And the king is like, hey, I need you to spy for me, even though he's the one who sent her there, and like dance to the best of your ability. Like, you need to dance better than I've ever seen you dance. And she's like, my muscles have atrophied. But she makes do with what she can, and it's more believable than that. Like, I'm making it seem like, oh, she did amazing. Like, there's a reason she got away with it. And then she goes on these things, and it's about like, how far is she willing to go to get her freedom? Like, is she willing to like basically kill others to get her freedom? Is the premise of that, and this is the sequel to that. So very cool. I loved it. Adult fantasy, romantasy probably. I don't know how you know if it's romantasy or fantasy with romance, so I'm just taking a guess. But then we have A Mortal Game by Allison Soft. I'll be so for real, I don't know what this is about at all. I just loved Wings of Starlight by Allison Soft this year, the like basically sanctioned fan fiction of Tinkerbell prequel. So I want to read this, and the cover looks cute. So let's read the synopsis together. It says, every 100 years, a small group of chess players are invited to enter the glittering world of fairy to compete for the honor of playing the king of the other world himself. Whoever defeats him is granted one wish. 19-year-old Shay Fury intends to be the first to win. It's the only way to win her sister back, who was taken by the king years before. But standing in her way is her longtime rival and fairy princess Sierra. As the tournament progresses and players start to drop dead at their boards, the two are forced together in an unlikely alliance, if they are to outwit the forces of fey magic and survive until the very last move. That sounds good. I do actually remember now that it was about like chess and fairies, so that sounds very cool. We move on to, that comes out again August 4th. Then we move on to September, and we have Disenchanted by Lucy Jane Wood. Cover to be revealed, but better than just the Goodreads one. Now, I'm gonna be honest, I don't know if this is taking off where Bewitched left off, or where Uncharmed left off, or anything. Oh, there is a synopsis now. Sorry, there was no synopsis before last time I read this, so let's read it. The brand new novel from Sunday Times bestseller Lucy Jane Wood, available for pre-order. Sage Hemlock has no interest in embracing her witchy side. Magic has betrayed her before, bringing nothing but heartache, and she will not let something so foolish happen again. Instead, Sage has thrown herself into her work and studies, running the local museum and largely preferring the company of her library and her cat to other humans. Her one goal is to fly under the Coven's radar so that she can finally shed her blasted powers forever. But then a strange historical book accidentally triggers a curse. Sage's quiet small-town life is suddenly overrun and magic is running rife. A beanstalk grows in her garden, and her friend and coworker, Casimir, starts to look an awful lot like a handsome prince. Fairy tales are coming true. Now at the threat of the Coven on her tail, Sage must confront the magic she's always denied to solve the mysteries of the book and save everyone she comes to love from being lost to a fairy tale forever. The question is, can she finally learn to be her own happily ever after? Everyone is falling under Lucy Jane's spell, beautifully crafted, sparkling with auto magic. Yeah, those are just quotes, but that sounds very cute. Again, I wish because of the ending of Rewitched that we would get like a connection more to that. Like Uncharmed had a slight connection, but not fully. I just wish there was more of like we got an ending with the characters from Rewitched. I'm hoping eventually that comes. So that's Disenchanted, and that comes out September 10th of 2026. Then we have October, and I have 4 for October. I'm trying to go in order. Okay, so by Rachel Lippincott, one of my favorite authors. Oh, there's no cover. What You Will by Rachel Lippincott. This is It says, this is all the book description has currently. A vengeful, sapphic, historical romantasy spin on Twelfth Night, following feuding families and branches of magic. That's not a lot, but it's giving like everything I could want at the same time. Like a sapphic romantasy spin on 12th. Hit me up. Historical too. Anyways, that's by Rachel Lippincott, and I am excited. I don't know if it's by Rachel Lippincott and Alison Derrick, or just Rachel Lippincott, because I've seen both floating around online, so I'm not quite sure who it is. But that comes out the 1st of October. Oh, the 30th of September now. Used to be the 1st now of October. Now it's the 30th of September. Mark your calendars. Sounds good, in my opinion. No cover yet, and the release date might change again. But for right now, that's where it's at. Then we have on October 6th, we have by Adeline Grace, we have The Wretched Divine, cover to be revealed. I don't know what this is about either. We'll read it together. I just like Adeline Grace is Belladonna series. This is adult though, I'm pretty sure. Ariel Chanteloon was born to serve. Raised as a knight in a kingdom ravaged by demons, she spent her life honing her blade, driven by the memory of the monsters who tore her family apart and by the knowledge that she's one of the few who can stop them. If Ariel can claim her first kill, she'll inherit a legacy passed down through the Chanteloon bloodline, a soul bond with Uriel, an angel whose power is vital to her kingdom's survival. But when those she loves begin turning into fairy monsters she's sworn to destroy, Ariel is forced to seek help from the last place she ever imagined. Desperate, she forges a second and far more dangerous bond with Severin, a demon she can hardly trust, but who claims to know how to end the war for good. With their lives and fates entwined, Ariel, Uriel, and Severin must team up to hunt down a cure capable of turning demons back into humans. But the more they learn about one another and the deeper their relationships grow, the more Ariel begins to question the war and her place in it. With both of her bonded on opposing sides, she'll have to make a choice. Continue to stand with the angels or risk everything by trusting a demon. Okay, so that sounds really good, actually. I'm getting vibes that there's a love triangle, which I don't always love, but it sounds good in this one. And I like knights, so I'm excited about that too. And I will read anything that Adeline Grace puts out currently. So that's coming out on, I want to double check the date's still the same, October 6th. Then we have, also on October 6th, supposedly, yes, no cover, but Falling Like Snow by Misty Wilson. She wrote, it was Falling Like Leaves, right? Yeah, Falling Like Leaves was this one that came out this year, and this will be Falling Like Snow, and we are getting the point of view of, I forget what character we're getting the point of view, but a side character from the first novel will be the main character of this one. And it just says Gilmore Girls meets Jenny Han in this wintry teen rom-com about a girl who must navigate her confusing feelings for her best friend while helping her small town prepare for the new Falling Snow Festival. Official description to come later. I liked Falling Like Leaves, so I'm excited. Again, that comes out the 6th of October. And then the last book I actually have, because for 2026, because I don't have November or December, is by Ivelisse Hausman. She wrote Unseelie/Unending, like that duology. I loved that duology, I will say. And I don't know where it is. Till Quest Do Us Part, no cover. Ivelisse Hausman. A cozy romantasy in which a queen discovers days before her wedding to the prince of a neighboring kingdom that she and her faithful knight champion remain bound by oaths sworn to one another a decades ago on the eve of a final battle, and must go on one last quest to break the divine magic that still binds them. I like Ivelisse Hausman, so I'll read anything she writes. Okay, so now I just have some books that I don't know if there's release dates yet, or they could be in 2027. So, also by Ivelisse Hausman, we have Slayer/Saint, no release date, or no cover, May 31st of 2027. I'm sorry, but I really want to read this, so I wish it was coming out sooner. But a Puerto Rican-inspired YA fantasy in which a young monster slayer accidentally recovers the lost sword of her island's patron saint, compelling her to break the curse on her land, born during her country's fight for independence before it consumes her and the island for good. Again, I'll read anything by Ivy Salzman. Then we have, I'm just going down now. Okay, who knows? This used to say it was coming out in 2026. Now it doesn't even have a release date, but The Fox in Winter, no cover, which is the Eternal Path Trilogy #2, which is the Raven Scholar. This is the sequel. I don't know when it's coming out anymore. It used to say 2026, now it doesn't have any release date. So unsure, but excited for that one because I really did enjoy the Raven Scholar, even though I felt it was really long. Then moving on, I'm just trying to look for the ones I did not. No, that one's already out. The Sun and the Star Maker, that comes out in 2026. Looks like this. I'm somewhat excited about it. I don't think I'll be like putting a hold on it at my library, but it comes out February 17th of this coming year. Looks cute. And then this one I have an arc of. I Didn't Do It by El Gonzalez Rose. I'll let you know how it is when I read the arc of it, but that comes out July 21st. It's a YA crime book, and I believe it's in a different format, like rating wise. It's in like read through like police evidence, I believe. Sorry, this video sucks. I'm sorry. And then we have This Story Might Save Your Life. That comes out March 10th of 2026. There we go. There's the cover. And this is another psychological thriller, I believe. It's a mystery and a love story. Most compelling book I've read. Each week, Benny, Abba, and Joy Moore host one of the most beloved podcasts in the world. Each week, they delight listeners with a different, against-all-odds survival story, gleefully finding the weird, life-affirming humor in near-death experiences. Since their first episode on Joy's experience with severe narcolepsy, they've been the best friends everyone wants to befriend. And thanks to the meticulous management of Joy's husband, Xander, they've built a lucrative empire. The problem is their next survival story may be their own. When Benny arrives at Joy and Xander's one morning to record, he finds shattered glass in an empty house. The one clue shedding light on the couple's disappearance is the incomplete, previously unseen first draft of Joy's memoir. Benny will stop at nothing to find them, even as the police zero in on him as their prime suspect. Millions of devoted listeners think they know the real Benny and Joy, but as the hours tick by and the odds seem increasingly stacked against Joy and Xander being found alive, not even the most devoted fans could guess the terrible secrets their favorite famous BFFs have hidden from the world and from each other. And that comes out March 10th of 2026. I think I already said that though. Oh, and then this one also looked good. This comes out January 6th, so very soon, but The Swan's Daughter. I don't know how to pronounce her name. Roshani Chakosky. I'll read it. Oh, this is long. In the lush and romantic novel, a prince is only as good as their beating heart, and a maiden is only as good as her honest word. But when love and the truth become impossibly tangled, the two must figure out how to survive together or fall completely apart. To find love is a curse. Prince Eris knows that marriage means murder. Thanks to a poorly worded wish to a sea witch, all one needs to rule the Isle of Malice is the heart and hand of the kingdom's heir. Historically, this has been constructed quite literally. Thus, Eris expects that the day after his marriage and murder, he will wake up as a sentient tree alongside the rest of his predecessors. His only chance as long as life is finding true and lasting love. When Eris's parents announced a tournament of brides to compete for his hand and heart, a slew of eligible, lovely, and possibly murderous bachelorettes must make their way to Wrath Castle. Amidst glittering balls and ozarded caves, strolls along the menagers of daydream trees and pearl crocodiles, tea time on glass boats, and kisses that leave their head spinning, Eris cannot tell who is here out of love for him or lust for power, until he meets Demelza. As a virtuous swan, Demelza's song brings out the truth. Forced into hiding, Demelza strikes a deal. Eris will provide her with safekeeping in exchange for her truth-telling song to sort through the potential brides. While Eris is used to dodging death threats and Demelza is accustomed to fighting for her voice to be heard, to survive the tournament of brides requires a different kind of bravery, and perhaps the bravest thing one can do is not merely protect one's life, but find the courage to chase a life worth living. Okay, I've bored you enough with all these releases. So that's all the releases I have on my radar. If you could comment like releases you're excited about, that would be really great, because even though I lowered my reading goal to 26 this year, I still like to know about the new releases and, you know, read them to the best of my ability, if not this year, next year. But that's all I have for you. If you stayed to the end of the video, thank you so much. Please like it or comment, either or. You don't have to do both. I appreciate you for just staying here and being here. But that's all I have, and I'll see you next time. Bye!